So hey everyone, welcome again on the Stack channel. And in this video, we're going to talk about the VS Code extension. Okay, we're going to explore the top 10 VS Code extension which really helpful for every developer. Okay, and if you guys have any other suggestion, just let me know on a comment. I will just go through those extension and use it on my daily to daily life. Okay, so let's start the journey and explore the VS Code extensions. So let's talk about our extension. So the first two extension I'm going to talk about which will be related to theming our VS Code. So the first extension will going to theme which I applied on my VS Code. Okay, so I am using a Firefly Pro extension. Okay, so the kind of theme you are seeing on my VS Code, it is a Firefly Pro extension. Okay, so here you have to install it and you can set your color theme. It provides three color theme. The Firefly Pro, the kind of theme you are seeing here will be applicable if you click on a Firefly Pro. I'm using Firefly Pro Bright, so it will look like this. And if you choose this Firefly Pro Midnight, will look like this. My personal choice is the Firefly Pro Bright. That's why I applied. Okay, and now this is our first extension which is related to the theme. The second extension will be related to the icon theme. Remember, when you create a new file, either it can be a .css file or .tsx file, okay, or even it will be a Flutter file like .dart file. You will see a nice icons of that file. Okay, so those icons you can get using the another package called material icon theme. Okay, so you have to install it and apply it, then automatically whenever you will create a new file, so based on extension it will assign a nice icons. Okay, so let's talk about our third extension, and it will related to the Git. Okay, so when you work with a large organization or large team, then what you need to do is you need to find out that this piece of code written by which developer. Okay, if you are working alone, then I mean it's not big deal that yeah this code is written by you, but sometimes it happened that you wanted to know that this piece of code in a large organization written by which developer. Okay, so you wanted to track all of this thing. Okay, so we have another extension called Gitlens. Okay, so if you find it here, the Gitlens, search it here, then you will find that we have a Gitlens extension. And when you enable the Gitlens extension, okay, let me reload it first, our window, and what it will help us that it will give us a nice thing that now we can track that this piece of code is written by which developer. So if you wanted to blame that this code is not written by me or anything, that you can easily track here that yeah the bug is created by the X developer or Y developer. Okay, even though like you can track out that it have all the information that when this piece of code is written, that 7 months ago written by me, and what was the last commit. And if you wanted to go to the second last commit, or like if you wanted to travel, I mean now you wanted to do the time travel with the code, then you can just use this thing. So it will give us a last commit. Okay, and it will give us a nice thing here that yeah you change this thing on your last commit. Okay, you can travel as many as commit you have. Like if I will go here, then you will find out that it was, I mean before, I mean this commit I don't have this file. Okay, so yeah, with help of this Gitlens you can easily manage and track your code, and you can time travel with your code. Okay, now the third extension I have completed. Let's talk about the fourth extension. What happened that sometime you need to manage with different Git hosting platform, like you have a GitHub, GitLab. Even in a GitHub or GitLab, suppose you have a different account in a GitHub, like you have two different account in GitHub which is related to the your company or your own. So sometimes you need to manage with multiple Git hosting platform. Okay, for that you need to have one another extension called git auto config. So here we have a git config, and it will help us to manage with different accounts. Okay, and how it will work. So if I will open a new project, like where I haven't configured a git at that time, okay, like suppose here we have a new phrase project, and if I will initialize a git here, okay, so after initializing a git, it will going to ask me, it should ask me that which account you wanted to use. Suppose I have a 3 account configured, then I need to select one of the account, so automatically it will connect with those account. Okay, so for that you need to maintain a SSS thing. Okay, so you should, if you are working with the git, then you know about the SSS configuration, that you need to add your SSS of the system to your corresponding git platform. Okay, now let's talk about our fifth extension, which is related to the code formatting. Okay, so whenever you will write a code, okay, and if it is not formatted, like suppose if I will not use our indentation properly like this. Okay, so right now if I will hit the save, then automatically it will properly format my code. Okay, so for this kind of thing, what you need to do, that you need to have another extension called Prettier. Okay, so Prettier will help me to format my code whenever I will do anything in code and it is not in a proper format. So it will automatically format my code on click of save. And how it you will configure it? So first you need to install this Prettier package, and after that you need to go on a setting. Okay, and in the setting here in text editor, you can go on a text editor, and here you have option called formatting, and what you need to do, that you need to enable format on save. So whenever if your code is not formatted, and whenever you will hit the save, then it will automatically format your code, and it will be applicable on dart file also. So in a dart file, like if you have a what we call, okay, let me give you an example. So if you do this thing again in a dart file, and if you hit the save, then it will format our code. Okay, now let's talk about our sixth extension, which is related to the variable. So a lot of developer will face difficulty while giving a name to a variable, and I also find a difficulty to find a variable name. Okay, even though if I will find a variable name, I can do a wrong spell. Okay, so I have one package called code spell checker. Okay, so this code spell checker will help me to figure out that if I am doing a wrong spelling, or that variable name is making sense or not. Okay, so let me create a new variable name called example. Okay, so this is the example spelling I will use, and this package will help me that example is an unknown word. Okay, so it will check the spelling, that the variable name spelling is correct or not. Earlier what happened, that at the time of code review, I did this mistake a lot of time, that I wrong spell the variable name, and at the time of the code review, some senior will point out that yeah, your variable name is not making any sense, and please change your variable name, then only I will merge your code. Okay, so this kind of difficulty I was finding earlier, so that's why this code spell checker package helped me a lot to finding a correct variable name. Okay, so let's talk about our seventh extension, which is related to the bracket, okay, or indentation. Okay, so let me go on a package section. Sometimes we wanted to highlight the bracket. Okay, so in this case we have extension called indent rainbow. Okay, so let me just enable the indent rainbow, then you will find that it will give us a nice rainbow, that which bracket is the open bracket and which one is the closing bracket. So we can automatically find out and easily debug our code, that the opening bracket and the closing corresponding closing bracket. Okay, at the same time you can download the bracket highlighter also. It will also help us to highlight the brackets. Okay, bracket highlighter. So it is related to the indentation and highlighting the bracket. So, and it will really helpful at the time of the debugging. Okay, and it will apply on the here also on the React, because here you will find that a fragment is started from here, and you can easily navigate and see that where it will be ending. Okay, so nicely it is handling the highlighting the indentation. So yeah, now let's talk about our 8 extension which is related to the code snippets. Either you will work with a React Native or Flutter. Sometimes you will need that you need to create a boilerplate code, I mean by default only. Okay, instead of writing the whole thing like in your Dart if you used, so you don't want to write the stateful widget or stateless widget creation. So for that case, what you can do that if I will create a new file which will be a test.dart, then instead of writing the stateful widget creation, you need to have some kind of code snippet generation. Like here we have a stateful widget code snippet generation. Okay, and for Flutter we are using a Flutter awesome snippet. So Flutter awesome snippet will help us to generate a boilerplate code. Okay, here we have multiple option. You can go through each of the option for your need. Okay, so similarly we have some code snippet generation for the React or React Native person also. So if you search the React, then you will find that I'm using this ES7 React Redux React Native snippet generation. So it will help us to create me a React code or React Native code or Redux code, I mean the boilerplate code. Okay, so if I will create a new file called test.tsx, then you will find using the rfc command I can create a React functional component. Okay, and for the React Native, what you need to do, you need to use a RNFE will create a React Native functional component, or you can use RNCE which will create a class component. Similarly in React, if you wanted to use a class component, then you can use RCC, it will create a class component. For more detail, what you can do that you can hit a Ctrl+Shift+R and it will give us a whole list of snippet generation for us. Like it have a export type, export interface, even for the function you can search here like how you can create a function. So all the detail here you will find that if you use a enf, it will become export name function. So if I will type here enf, and it will generate as a export name function. So yeah, basically all the thing you will get with help of the Ctrl+Shift+R. Just go there and explore what are the snippet generation we have. So let's talk about our last extension which is related to the linting. So linting is a way which will help us like to identify potential bugs or error in our code. Okay, even linting have a certain rules, it will give us a highlight that which variable are unused variable. Suppose I will create one variable called let a equal to something. Okay, and basically what the linting will do that it will give us a error. It's saying that a is declared but its value is never used. So this is basically because of the linting. Okay, so it's I have a package called Eslint. So you can install a package, the last extension which is the Eslint. Basically it will related to the JavaScript. Okay, so if you are a JavaScript developer or a React developer, then this package will going to helpful for you to identify a potential error in your code. Okay, even though in Flutter also we have a linting installed by default. In pubspec.yaml file you will find that we have a Flutter lints. Okay, so basically in Flutter also, if I will just delete this cons, it will give us some kind of warning that cons literal is needed or something. This is kind of coming because of the linting. Okay, so what the linting will do and what it will help us that it will give us a nice highlight that you are not using this a variable, or it is giving an error that a is never reassigned, use a constant state. So Eslint is giving us an issue that let's not use a let here because you are not reassigning a to another value. So let's use a const instead of the let, even though again it's giving some kind of warning that a is assigned a value but never used. So you have unused variable, so you can just remove it or do anything you want. Okay, so explore about the linting because linting is really helpful, and whenever we use this linting package we need to have a configuration related to the linting, and like ESLint configuration. Okay, so we have this kind of ESLint configuration in our project. So similarly you need to have this ESLint configuration on your project. So the rule you set up on this configuration will going to apply on your package, on your workspace. Okay, so basically just explore about the linting. It is really useful to find a potential bug in your code. And yeah, hope you guys like this video, and if you guys have a more suggestion regarding the VS Code extension, please let me know on comment. And if you wanted to know more about the linting for your project, just let me know on a comment so I can make another video on it. And yeah, till that, I hope you enjoyed the video. So happy coding, see you on a next video.